40 years old is definitely not too late for you to start saving, because for many Malaysians, 40 years old is the age whereby many of those people underemployment or even in business, their income started to peak. Okay, so but again, I will say that there are still people who have income peak, but expenses also peak, and for that matter, no saving at all. Okay, so for that matter, if your income has peaked but your expenses is high, then it's time for you to sit down to review whatever expenses that you have got and to see how can you squeeze out some money, some income for you to save and invest it. But I always find that a lot of time what drive a client to invest and to save is when they have a big picture as to what happened to their life, going forward 10 years, 15 years from now. So when they know that they need to support themselves, okay, when they retire, or they need to support their children for certain maybe education kind of fees, that's where the motivation to save become very strong. I would always advocate that when we retire, it does not mean that your money that you have invested and you have saved so far can retire together with you. Then you can put all this money into fixed deposit or put into tabung haji or put in amanah saham and that's it. I do not believe in that, because whether you are 50 years old or 55 years old, when you retire, you still have got another 25 years or even like 30 years for you to live before you leave this world. And to every day that we live in this world, in these modern days, we need money to support our lifestyle. So for that matter, inflation, guess what? Do not stop when you retire. Okay, inflation will continue to hit you, sometimes higher, maybe like 8%, 9%, like what's happening in US, or maybe to certain part of Malaysia also, to certain people as well. Or sometimes maybe lower, maybe 3% or 4%, but it continues to be there. So for that matter, I would also suggest that there's no such thing, about stop investing in equity, stop investing in equity unit trust when you are 50 years old or when you retire. Okay, so what I always advocate is that you continue to invest the investment in a very diversified asset allocation in such a way that you may have some investment asset that can support you for you to take care of your short-term cash flow because you don't have active income anymore. But the bulk of your asset should be invested into those investments that will be able to beat inflation and also be able to help you to continue to grow your asset, because the point is that we will never know how long that we live. We live in a world with a lot of uncertainties. So unfortunately, when you become like 70 years old, inflation continues to haunt you, and also the question of like saying that I can maybe plan to live up to 80 years old. Unfortunately, it's also not our call, because there are people who live up to 85, many people nowadays, and chances may live up to 100 years old. So for that matter, to have their expenses for 300,000 may seem to be enough, okay? But the question, the uncertainty here is that how long will you live? So number one, okay. Number two is that during this period of time, what is the inflation period? Of course, in Malaysia, we are talking about 4%, 5%, 6% kind of inflation. Of course, we do not feel any threat, if we don't invest properly. But there are countries in the world that we can see that may have an inflation of 20% or 30% a year. Then in that case, the value of 300,000, may not mean too much 10 years later. Okay, so that's why I say a better strategy is to not to ask any FD saver to take their 3 million all out to invest into share market, to buy properties or to buy into cryptocurrency. So what I always suggest is that if you got 3 million, you can actually diversify your 3 million between your FD plus some other investment which fulfill SRP standard, okay, that will be able to give you some return that beat inflation, but at the same time highly regulated by the relevant authorities. No? So by doing so, you'll be able to make sure that all this uncertainty, like if just in case that you live up to like 90 years old, 95 years old kind of issue will not become issue, because your wealth will continue to be there to grow with inflation and to support you beyond that.